Hello, scholars. And first of all, my apologies. The last message I sent, perhaps the last two, said let's meet at 11:30, and I really meant 12:30, which was when we were supposed to begin, so as not to interfere with pantry. Anyway, allow me to give you a few final words of preparation before tomorrow's semester exam. First of all, the exam will begin tomorrow at 8:30 in Mr. Lin's classroom, which adjoins our classroom. But I think the seats in there are a little better for us. Uh, it's a little roomier. So 8:30 tomorrow in Mr. Lin's classroom. The time period should be 8:30 to 10:30. I won't throw you out at 10:30. I think I will throw you out at 11, unless you have extended time. Uh, okay, more on that as we move through this. What you see in front of you actually is a Christmas poem by William Wordsworth. I tried, B. I tried to honor your wonderful spirit and put a Christmas poem on the exam, and I couldn't make it work. Instead, let me offer this extra credit challenge. If you come into class, into the exam, with 2 lines of iambic pentameter, 2 lines, a couplet, a rhyming couplet of iambic pentameter about Christmas or about the course, I will give you 2 points of extra credit. Okay? So that's the most Christmas spirit that I find myself able to show to you. Uh, Let me again walk through the test just one more time. I've finished it. I'm still trying to hone a good question on TV people, which may or may not be on the exam, but probably may, right? And then I'll be printing these things out. On the short answer section, uh, there are 12 short answer prompts, and you need to respond to 10 of them. And in 40 minutes is the hope, and that's going to be pretty tough. I envision short paragraphs in response to these short answer questions, so 3 or 4 sentences. You don't want to leave it at one sentence. Don't be a minimalist on this, or you will not get full credit. And I'd love to see some strong performances on the exam. I'd love to give a couple A pluses, but that will require a response of 3 or 4 sentences to each of these. In composing these short answer questions, I was mindful of your recommendations in here, right? There's some really good ones. I talked about the fact that in response to Ari Bork's uh, posting, I am including 3 quotations from Twelfth Night. Those will be the questions 10, 11, and 12 on this short answer section. So there is that. You'll note that not everyone is posted here. So please do, if you've forgotten to do that, I sent you another invitation, but please do post to the voice thread suggesting something to be on the exam, because the exam is done, but your suggestion might spur some good thought. So I really, you know what, Nate, I don't know if you listened to Nate's about seasons and going in the Green Knight, and boy, that was smart. He would write a good exam. So that's that. Okay, let's move now to part two, the second part of the exam, which will be worth, so it's the first part is worth 40%. The second 2 parts are 30% each. The second part is will be a poem from a released exam. And you guys have all done some work on these released exams on our Moodle, right? And as I mentioned in class the other day, having looked through the poems that you guys identified, it will be the poem on the exam will be from those that you have talked about here. And I strongly urge you to read each other's thoughts, because for one thing, you'll at least have some sense of what the poem is, and also you'll have a leg up on these, right? You write some really intelligent commentary in your introduction to the poems. You want a couple hints while we're here? One, it's not going to be Carly's poem. Where are you, Carly? Right here. This poem, If I Could Tell You, by W.H. Auden, is a villanelle. It's a poem composed in stanzas of 3 lines, and we haven't studied that structure, and so I fear you wouldn't have a good entryway into that. So good choice, Carly. I like the fact that you rewound it all the way to 2002, but that won't be one of the poems. Nor will Philip Larkin's poem here be on there. You know what? I've decided to tip my hat and tell you I'm going to use a comparison So Bard Allen, history teacher, or To Sir John on his coming of age and when I was 21, or 5 a.m. and 5 flights up, Eros, and golden retrievers and hawk roosting. These are all comparisons, and it will be one of those. So again, that narrows things down a little bit. And don't go crazy and spend 90 hours memorizing all 5 of these options, but do take the time to look at them and read the introduction by your teammates. Before I leave this poetry page, I would love to give a shout out to Sala. This Modern Love is usually the poem I use on my exam. It's a little harrowing, a little too dark, Sala, to use on an exam. But good call by you. That was well done. Okay, so that's question 2. Question 3, comes from released exams. So this is the page you'll want to be navigating, right? This is AP Central, and as I suggested in class, I think you should be opening former exams. I'll randomly go to 2006 Form B, and then you can scroll to the end of the test to find that question 3 and to see what it is asking. I really don't know what this was. A physical journey, right? That would be a really good one and apt for many of the books that you've read, right? Think how apt that would be for Gawain and the Green Knight, for example, or for Young Goodman Brown. So that's how you should be prepping for that third question. 30% of the exam is making sure you know a few of our texts really well, and then seeing how they would apply to these questions. Let me just remind you, on question 3, use a text that we read this year. It can be a short one. It could be a poem, a story, or one of the larger works. But don't reach into last year and use, for example, 1984. I want you to show the work that you've done this year. What else do I have to say? On the email, which I'm including with this, let me see if I can find it. I'm going to send you a question from another exam that I wrote. Let's see if this is what I want. Let me actually. No. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Okay, sorry. Sorry about whatever hiccup just occurred. This is the last thing I wanted to show you. I will append this to this email. This is from an older exam, and I will send it to you because it's a ballad, and I do use the word ballad in the first section of the exam. And if you want to take on the notion of a ballad, we've seen ballads most specifically in Rime of the Ancient Mariner. This question will kind of push you along the right way, and then you can do a little sniffing around about what kind of ballads, what ballads are. So that's just a final thought. I will be around this afternoon at my house checking email if you want to do that, or I'm probably going to be watching the Patriots game. So good luck with your studies, and I will see you tomorrow, 8:30, with your couplet in Mr. Lynn's room. Thanks.